Cubs had one of their best games of the season going against the Baltimore Orioles Saturday. It was an amazing tribute to Ryne Sandberg, everyone wearing the number 23. The bullpen needed to get 6 outs, and they couldn't do it. We're going to talk about this bullpen. Are they trending in the wrong direction? I'm not happy about the way that game went. I know it's just one game, but it ranks up there with the most disappointed I've been in this team in a long time, because I think that's one of the games that you have to win. You win that for Ryno. You win it for all the people that love Ryno. You go out there and get the job done. And is this a precursor to what we have to look forward to down the road when the Cubs need a win and they're in position? The bullpen. I know the bullpen's been good. They have, except for the last 2 weeks. We're going to talk about all that right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. You guys talked me off the ledge in the comments section. Or maybe you're like me and you're going, what was that? And is that the best that we have to offer? Let's get this thing going. What do you say, everybody? Mick Gillespie, Cubs Baseball Channel. Thank you for being here. Let's talk about the Cubs that looked like they were going to shut Baltimore out again, which was fantastic. And then the bullpen came in. And we've been spoiled with a great bullpen this year. But you look at it and you go, how long can these guys keep this going, right? Well, now, because Matthew Boyd just pitched you 7 amazing innings, Baltimore never had a chance against them. And because of analytics and worried about guys getting hurt, we're going to pull them out of the game because we got to worry about next start and 2 starts from now and 3 starts from now, instead of worrying about winning the game at hand, right? So Boyd, how many pitches did Boyd throw? 92. So I guess if we hit 100, his arm's going to blow off. I say that all the time. But then we go to the bullpen. Boyd throws 7 innings, no walks, 4 hits, 8 strikeouts. And then the bullpen, Ryan Brazier comes in. What is this guy doing? Like, I see he's got a 2.95 ERA, but in day games, the guy's earned run average is like 5.5. He can't throw strikes during the day. He comes in immediately, puts Baltimore in position to have some confidence. He gets a third of an inning, walks a guy, gives up a hit. 2 runs were charged to him. And then Caleb Thielbar, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of shocked that the guy's been as good as he has been, because I've been waiting for this. But 2/3 of an inning, of course, he gives up the go-ahead home run. And instead of a 3-0 lead, the bullpen comes in and they give up 4 runs before you can blink. And the Cubs end up losing the game 4-3. I just don't understand this, right? You got 6 outs you got to get. 6, just 6 outs. Didn't go out and get Duran, didn't go out and add another Daniel Palencia to the back end of the bullpen, didn't want to give up the prospects to do that. Then let's bring in Jackson Wiggins, because Jackson Wiggins can get outs. He can throw strikes. He's a guy that's got the stuff that all these other teams wanted, and I think he belongs in this bullpen today. Let's pull a Joe Madden. Let's pull a St. Louis Cardinals when they're good. When they bring rookies in and these guys that can just throw the hell out of the baseball and let them throw it. I mean, watching those 2 guys blow the game to this awful Baltimore team, it was honestly, it was just embarrassing. And it was a game where we wanted to win this one for Ryno. Oh, it's just one game, right? It's just one game. Yeah, well, it was a game where everybody was wearing the number 23 for our late, great legend, Ryne Sandberg. It was that one game where we were like, hey, you know what? This is dedicated to you. And then in typical Cubs fashion, the bullpen comes in, and I mean, how many years have we seen this and blows it? Now, I know that the Cubs bullpen had been really good, right? I mean, they were one of the best in the league for a 24-game stretch that was back to May 14th, where they had an earned run average of 8.2, right? Well, over the last 2 weeks, this bullpen's earned run average is over 4.5. And the Cubs are 7-6 in those games. Like, so they're not winning at the clip that they were before. We added a couple guys to the bullpen. Honestly, watching Willie Castro leg out the triple and make some plays defensively, I like him. But Just disappointed. And I hate to wake everybody up like that, knowing that we got another game today. That's one that I really wanted to win. I wanted to win it for everybody that loved this guy right here. Everybody that wore these to the game, right? 6 outs. That's all you got to do. Give me 6 outs. And that's too hard. 6 outs. Like when the starter goes 7 and you're paid that much money to get 6 outs, get the 6 outs. And to walk in the first guy that you face in the 8th inning is not good enough. If you can't pitch during the day, then pitch him at night. Look at his splits. You guys love analytics. All those Cubs front office people love analytics. Look at the analytics. He can't pitch in the day. So pitch him at night. But these are the type of games that lead to second place because Milwaukee hasn't had these type of games. One game that you want to win. I know I'm pretty animated today, but it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's like, no wonder they didn't go out and trade all their prospects. I mean, do you trust this team to go to the World Series and win it? That's the problem. 6 outs. You waste this guy's pitches a 7-inning gem, and you that's the best you can do. I wonder, and I know a lot of you guys have brought this up in the comments section, and you're right. But look at the careers of these guys. Look at what they've done now, and what's going to happen next is that they're old, and they're going to look old. And I hope I'm wrong. So what the Cubs need to do is they need to be looking within their system to find some young guys that can come in and get some outs and not give up go-ahead home runs and not walk the leadoff guy on Ryan Sandberg Day with his family there and everybody there. Oh, it's just one game, though. Yeah. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You know, sometimes you got to ball up and get it done. And they didn't do that. So we'll see what happens. But it's as disappointed as I've been of watching the Cubs in a long time. And look, I've been a fan for 40 years. I've been disappointed, okay? I've been disappointed. You know, I've watched some bad teams. And I've watched some good teams that I thought were managed poorly. I've watched some bad broadcasts. I've watched the best broadcasts ever, you know, and Harry and Steve. I listened to Ron Santo on the radio. Like, I mean, it's been some great stuff. But I don't know. I'm just, that sucked. And then remember the Joe Madden shirts, try not to suck? I mean, give me a break. You know, it's like, you know, give up the hits, but you come in and walk the first guy. Baltimore couldn't find a base hit. They stink. And he's like, comes in, and on 4 pitches, we got a guy at first. Great way to get him started after they went, you know, a game and almost 2 games without a run. Pathetic. All right, a couple other things. I'm bringing the show back to the middle. But I just was disgusted by that. Just you know, do this on tomorrow. Do this today, but not on Saturday with everybody wearing their 23s. You know, it would have been great to win for Ryno. Michael Soroka, this was the Cubs' big free agent acquisition. And he's set to start on Monday. So we'll get to see him against the Cincinnati Reds. This is, you know, one of the reasons why the Cubs are getting hammered right now by the media as far as their trade deadline gets. The guy's 3-8 with a 4.87 ERA. That means that for every 9 innings, he gives up almost 5 runs. But since June, it's down to 3.49. So 3.5. And I guess we could deal with that, right? And he's actually allowed 3 runs or less earned in his last 7 of his last 8 starts. So look, give me that kind of performance. I'm not judging you, but I've seen the guy in Atlanta where he looked unhittable. You know, maybe they'll be able to find this again. They can put him in the pitch lab and take Brazier in the pitch lab with you and show him how to throw strikes when you got to get 3 outs. That's it. 3 outs for all that money you're paid. 3 outs after the guy in front of you gets 7 innings of no runs and no walks and 4 hits. Maybe you didn't know you were going to pitch. Then maybe you were tight, right? For the 10 or 11 innings you pitch a month. I mean, come on. It's like we've specialized this game so much, and it's like, and it's still the same game it always has been. Go in, throw strikes, stay ahead of the hitters, throw strikes. Throw strikes. If you're ahead, look at the numbers. You got all the analytics. When you throw strikes first, the batter gets out a lot more. Like 0-2, their batting average is like 1 something. Like our old buddy Greg Maddux pointed that out. Hey, I gave up some 0-2 hits. Well, why? Well, when their batting average is 0.82, I'm going to take my chances there. Ball 1, ball 2, ball 3, ball 4. I mean, come on. God, it just irritates me to no end. And that's not even the word I want to use. All right. Rash of roster moves. You probably have heard about all these, but I kind of felt like talking about it because it's going to lead into the next thing that I want to get into today. But a bunch of roster moves that the Cubs have made. And, and it kind of shows you exactly what we're looking at down the road here with, adding the players, who we got rid of, and why we got rid of those guys. All right, let me get these for you right here, and then we'll kind of talk about them. Michael Soroka obviously activated yesterday. Brooks Kresge designated for assignment. Okay, a lot of you guys are going, who's that guy? It came up a couple times and pitched. Day before that, they activated Willie Castro. Ryan Presley released. So I thought that was a good move at the time. He didn't pan out. His analytics told us that he was kind of falling off the edge, and he fell clear off the edge. Moises Ballesteros optioned to AAA. Gavin Holloway optioned to AAA. I wish they could keep some young players on this roster to give this team some energy, especially when, they scored the 3 runs against Baltimore yesterday, but I felt like they could have scored a lot more, and some of these guys need days off. Maybe they're just not producing, and I'd be fine with them kind of being in a spot where we don't see them all the time. But the big move, I guess, the Cubs also acquired, obviously, Kittredge, Castro, Rogers, and Soroka and the deals, and then Miguel Amaya was transferred to the 60-day IL. So what does that lead us? It leads us into, kind of transitioning after the break, right? A couple things, though, to keep an eye on. Javier Assad is scheduled to pitch his next rehab start, a AAA game on Wednesday. We'll keep an eye on that. I think he's a guy that could help this team. Maybe unlike the bullpen yesterday, he could come in and actually get some outs. I don't care what his velo is, what his spin rate is. I just don't care. I just want 3 outs in the 8th inning when all you got to do is get 6, right? And not walk the leadoff man. Although he walks some batters, but he's a bend and not break guy. I felt like a couple of years ago, you could have called him the MVP of the pitching staff. My fingers are crossed that Assad gets back and he's effective for the Cubs because we could certainly need him. And then Jamison Taillon, he had the calf injury, 25-pitch bullpen Friday, set the start for Iowa today. So I thought it was Saturday, but it's actually today. We'll be watching this one as well. If he has a strong outing, how many more before he could be in the big leagues helping pitch? Because you get him back, and then maybe you push somebody else into the bullpen, and all of a sudden the bullpen gets better. Also, don't forget Chris Flexen was released too. He was great in the bullpen, moved him to the starting rotation. Then he looked like the Chris Flexen we saw with the White Sox. Now he's jobless. Well, somebody probably picked him up, but you know what I mean? Like, bullpen needs some help right now. This isn't the same bullpen that was pitching a under 1 ERA there for a while. This is a bullpen that just keeps on getting rocked, can't throw strikes, and blows it. And that's not going to work with the Brewers winning every single day. Okay. So maybe a couple of tweaks, tinker here and there. You get a couple guys back healthy. Maybe you bring up some of these Jackson Wiggins type prospects from Iowa. It feels like Craig Counsell is very reluctant to use the guys from the minor leagues. Bad thing. Bad thing. Look at your old organization, Craig. They live and die off of their prospects. Look at Joe Madden. Won a World Series. Wasn't afraid to go and get a guy and bring him up and let him play. And I heard the whole thing where he's like, hey, we don't have any at-bats. Last time I checked, Ian Happ's batting like 225. Dansby Swanson can't hit his way out of a paper bag. You got to find somebody that can get hits instead of honoring contracts. And that's just the way it is. And look at the great managers of our times. You know, they're not worried about who signed a piece of paper. They're worried about who's helping win today. And it just doesn't feel like that all the time. And yesterday's game's a great example of why this team's not going to win a World Series. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Now, look, the sky's not falling. I'm just pissed. Cubs still have great odds to make the playoffs. I probably should do this just for my own sanity. But I'm just telling you that game, my friend Boyd was at the game. He's messaging me, hey, I'm Boyd, and I'm watching Boyd pitch, right? Charlie Walter was at the game. A bunch of people were at the game. Jody Davis is at the game. You know, a bunch of great former Cubs players. Watching the Cubs just pee down their leg. Cubs World Series odds went down a whole point, 5.7% now. To clinch, to make the playoffs, it's still 96.7%. To clinch a wild card, 50.3%. To win the division, all of a sudden now they're down to 46.4%. And Milwaukee's ahead of them because Milwaukee finds a way to win. You know, they're 2 games up now because they find a way to win those games. Just awful. Just awful. No wonder the Dodgers traded him away because they're going, we're going after elite players, and he's just not an elite player. Like, his stats look good. But when you put some of these guys in the game when it's on the line, I mean, how confident are you that they're going to just go in and get it done? I'll tell you what, when Palencia comes in, I'm confident that if he gives it up, it's because they hit the ball because he's going right at him. Not walking the leadoff man and trying to nip around the zone and working from behind and being predictable, being scared, you know, whatever it is. It's just not good enough. Shout out to Cade Horton. I don't know if I got to this the other day, but he's gone 17 2/3 innings without allowing a run. That was after 5 innings the other night. Telling you guys for a long time, this is the best pitching prospect the Cubs have had since Pryor and Wood days. And it's going to be fun to watch this guy. If he could just stay healthy, get experience. Still doesn't look perfect yet. He's not a finished product, but he's getting there. And that's exciting. And I don't know. I just thought that game is the type of game that keeps you out of a World Series. That's the type of game that keeps you out of winning the division. You know, that's the type of game where maybe, you know, you're thinking, well, it's just another game. No, it's not. It's not. You know, you're wearing a guy's number that just died. You're honoring one of the legends. Everybody in the clubhouse wanted to win that game. Even Brazier, even Thielbar, they all wanted to win it. Boyd went out and looked like Cy Young. And it's just like, well, another bullpen. And we were like, we're still living off the bullpen, what they did 2 weeks ago. Doesn't work that way in this business. Anyway, you guys tell me. I know I've been pretty negative today, but I'm just irritated. I've been irritated about this one. Watching, enjoying, going, hey, this is great. And then to watch that fall off the edge. The only thing that could be worse is to be the Pirates blowing that huge lead to the awful Colorado Rockies. That would be worse. Hey, thank you for letting me rant today. Okay? Like and subscribe, please, or give me a thumbs down. Somebody gives me a thumbs down every single show. It's probably the same person. I don't know what I did to you, buddy. Maybe I deserve one today because I'm just not satisfied with that effort. That's just not good enough. You got to figure out a way to get 6 outs. You just do. You just do. Period. So, are we ever going to wear, is the entire team ever going to wear 23s together again? Ever? All right. We'll be back at it again tomorrow. Again, we'll keep keeping an eye on what's going on. I know I'm fired up today, but I can't help it. Cannot help it. Well, let's get back out there. Let me get the pitching matchup. Let me give you guys that before I get off here, because I feel like he's like, you're so normal, and then today you're just crazy. Yeah. Well, anyway. Oh yeah, here we go. Baltimore is throwing out Brandon Young, who's 0-5 with a 6.63 ERA. Okay. And the Cubs are going with Colin Ray. Which Colin Ray are we going to get? The good Colin Ray or the bad Colin Ray? Because he's Jekyll and Hyde. The good one's great. The bad one's terrible. He's 8-5 with a 4.25 ERA. And that's another day game at the friendly confines, which is awesome. I love watching day games at Wrigley Field. So we'll be watching it as well. Talk to you after the game, guys, unless something breaks. Thank you so much. Go Cubs.